please welcome the founder and CEO of the Oxygen Plan Corporation, Eric Lucas.
Hello. Just as our great city of Minneapolis was born all the way upstream along the banks of the mighty Mississippi River, the future of healthcare will also be upstream as we go further and further toward the causal factors that are dictating health outcomes. And fundamental to that future will be significant advancements and disruptive innovations in the areas of mental health and behavioral health. As Honorable Tom Emmer said yesterday, more often than not in the past, the focus has been on physical health at the expense of behavioral health. And we also heard Senator Frist yesterday say that similar words. In addition, on Monday night, Dr. Chaville, Mayo Clinic, and Dr. Fabian from Mayo Clinic had similar thoughts and insights regarding that. Again, my name is Eric Lucas. I'm founder and CEO of a company called the Oxygen Plan. And our mission is predicated on one provocative question, a question that is fundamental to mental health and a key first step in behavioral health. And that question, simply stated, is what is your stress number? You see, stress is insidious, and as an opponent, stress is diabolical. Stress is brutal. Let's take a look at three brutal statistics. Stress, number one, Harvard Business Review. 75 to 90% of all doctor visits are related to stress. Brutal fact number two, stress, this is from the CDC, stress is linked to the 6 leading causes of death. And brutal fact number three, and this is for employer organizations everywhere, stress is hitting your bottom line to the tune of about $5,000 per employee per year because it manifests in absenteeism, presenteeism, workers' comp, disability, group health expense, and turnover. So the future of healthcare will include a stress metric that provides a line of sight for employer organizations to understand exactly how much stress is hitting their bottom line. And additionally, it will provide a line of sight into how much stress is wrecking the overall productivity and overall health of their workforce. The future of healthcare will include an ability to assess quickly and easily individual stress, but also aggregate employee populations to answer provocative questions such as, do your female employees, do they experience more home, work, and social stress than your male employees? And therefore, are your female employees, are they more at a competitive disadvantage than your male employees? That's just a start of the questions that we can begin to answer. Now, in the meantime, here's the good news. Stress has been called the #1 modifiable risk factor. Great. But it's largely, a stress component is largely been omitted, and still is for the most part, from chronic disease management programs, from EAPs, from employee engagement, and from wellness programs. So there's a gap. And we know when there's a gap, there's a possibility, or even worse yet, there's a tendency for things to fall through the gap, right? For people, in this case, to fall through the gap. People that we know, people that we care about, people that we read about. And so the mission of our company is to fill that gap with an ability to assess individual, quickly and easily assess individual stress, with an ability to aggregate those populations, engage behavior, and then hand off to our partners or to our client solutions, platforms, and capabilities. So we invented this stress number as an easy grab and go, easy way of measuring stress. It's a survey or an assessment, 30 questions, 10 for home, 10 for work, 10 for social. Takes about 2 minutes. And at this point, I'd like to give a plug to, by far and away, the most entrepreneurial team that we've had the pleasure of working with the last 3 years. And under the leadership of Mr. Jim Rogers down in Rochester, the folks at Mayo Clinic Ventures, because we've developed this in collaboration with Mayo Clinic Ventures. And I also want to give a shout out to the folks at Mayo Clinic Research, who've conducted the clinical validation research on stress number, and it is now a clinically validated instrument or tool with published research in an international peer-reviewed journal. To give you a feel for how engaging our platform is, there's obviously several different slides or several different metrics to measure engagement. I'll just show you one with some benchmarks that you may be somewhat familiar with. If this piques your interest, I ask you to download our stress number app and then ping me at Eric at the Oxygen Plan or ping me on LinkedIn. I'd love to give you demo credentials so that you can get your stress number today. We highly encourage that. But think about our business model, which starts with our assessment tool for mental health and our resilience program as we integrate our transition to a behavioral health platform, our resilience program called Resilience, how that could maybe fit with your current platforms and capabilities. Perhaps you're a product company, and this could be a great customer relationship tool, or an adjunct to your product as you build an ecosystem around your product. Not sure what that one is. All right. Okay. At this point, I will say that although we've made a lot of progress, we understand the challenge and the opportunity before us far exceeds the capabilities and the resources of our young startup. And so we are actively seeking partners. So if you want to have a conversation with us, I guarantee you we want to have a conversation with you. All right? We all know that stress running unchecked can lead to a multitude of chronic diseases. And we do know that inherent with chronic disease, there's a certain amount of stress that comes with that, just living with chronic disease. And one of those is diabetes. Did you know that every 6 minutes, somebody's loved one dies from complications with diabetes? And living with diabetes is no picnic, right? But there's a company that is making it infinitely easier to live with diabetes, making it infinitely easier, one drop at a time. And brilliantly, they're called OneDrop. And they monitor your glucose. Its founder is a rock star. You may have heard of him. He was co-founder and CEO of Razorfish and bootstrapped that thing to a $50 million IPO. Bro, we got to talk after this. But Jeff Dachis is his name. He's CEO, founder, and chairman of the board for OneDrop. So please give Jeffrey, the real deal Dachis, a warm welcome. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I know I'm standing between you and sort of the tail end of the conference here, so I want to thank everybody for taking the time and the energy to hang out and listen to our story. I also want to thank all the sponsors, because without them, we all wouldn't be here and have this great opportunity to share ideas, move things forward, and talk about innovation. The title of the presentation is Digital Health is a Reality, How Will Healthcare Adapt? But I should have titled it, Everyone Has a Plan Until You Get Punched in the Face. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, and then nothing really matters. So what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about the landscape, and then I'll dig into some of the story around OneDrop. You heard a little bit about my background. I started a company called Razorfish a long time ago. It's 25 years old now, about $1.2 billion in revenue, and the largest digital marketing solutions firm in the world. It sits inside of Publicis, a French conglomerate. But none of that really matters. About 4 years ago, I got punched in the face. Not literally, but I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Kind of strange for a marathoner. I eat good. I didn't really know much about the condition. And here I was, went to the doctor, given about 6 minutes with a nurse practitioner, an insulin pen and a prescription and a pat on the back, and I was out the door with type 1 diabetes. I went home and I cried. I was terrified about what was going to happen to me, what would happen to my family, what would happen to my kids. I had no idea what this condition was about. I had no idea how to address it or what to do with it. And I threw a pity party for myself for a couple of days. And then I picked myself up by the bootstraps and thought, I wonder if I can bring my experience together around digital marketing and technology, user experience, and then big data analytics, and build a company that could bring all the data components that a person needs to manage diabetes well together into a modern, user-friendly diabetes management experience. And with that, I created OneDrop. And so that's why we're here today. Some of these brands I'm sure you're familiar with, Kodak, BlackBerry, Microsoft, Walmart, Nokia. We're going to talk a little bit about some of that. Here you see the number of photos taken and Kodak's share of those photos taken as digital photography emerges. And this trend that I'm about to walk through quickly is going to become evident to you. Here's Kodak's market share or market price. Microsoft's share of personal computing. Nokia in 2007, 1 billion customers. Can anyone catch the cell phone king? It's just a few years, by the way. Nokia's share in smartphones. Nokia's out of business, by the way, in smartphones. BlackBerry. Who had a BlackBerry? Almost everybody, right? Here's BlackBerry smartphone market share. Look at where it is today. 0. BlackBerry share price, awesome. Lost 96% of its value in just a few years. We can keep going. Newspapers. Retail sales. Look at the non-store retailers versus the department stores. Index comparison of Amazon versus the S&P Department Store Index. I think you guys can see where the trends are going here. Here's Amazon's market cap compared to Walmart, CVS, Costco, Target, and Best Buy combined. Almost double. You can see some of the transitions that are happening in the healthcare space. Even today, we heard the CVS Health and Aetna merger, was approved with some changes. But Amazon coming into Whole Foods, Amazon buying PillPack, Amazon with Berkshire Hathaway and JP Morgan, Walmart's move into care clinics, which is awesome, and get your flu shot in the back there. Cigna's merger with Express Scripts. There's a lot of stuff happening in the healthcare landscape today. It's transforming radically because digital is bringing new ways of engaging with consumers, new ways of bringing data together, and new ways of delivering cost-efficient care to the marketplace outside of the current system. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. So start thinking about what you're going to do when that happens. You cannot win incrementally. I will say this over and over and over again. You cannot win this game incrementally. If you think you're going to make micro adjustments to your current business, think again. It's not going to work. There are market trends like patients becoming better informed, demand for personalized medicine, et cetera. There are healthcare trends like the burden and bill for chronic diseases soaring, financial constraints of payers, et cetera. Scientific and technological trends like R&D becoming more virtualized, or machine learning and artificial intelligence improving things at a disruptive pace, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. There are implications. Pharma's going to need to go beyond the pill. R&D is going to need to go beyond the lab, and pharma and healthcare value chains are going to become much more intertwined in ways that we can only imagine. The current reactive healthcare management setup isn't going to work for much longer. You've got this provider diagnostics, hospitalized care, rehab, wellness wearables, et cetera. This is the incrementalism that I was talking about. It's not going to work. We need to move to a different environment where all of the tools and technologies are set up to have a forward-leaning approach to to healthcare management. So what's happening now is that the patient plus technology plus doctors are creating the new environment for healthcare. And consumers are plugged in. Healthcare consumers are increasingly using technology to manage their health. There's significant increase in the use of health apps and wearable devices, despite the myth that only tech-savvy millennials are using technology to manage their health. The fact is that everybody is going to be using technology to manage their health. Appetite for virtual care is increasing dramatically for a whole host of elements inside of the healthcare value chain. Technology is becoming a part of the care team. So people are starting to use artificial intelligence as part of the care team components. Healthcare consumers see advantages in AI-powered care. There's cost savings, there's convenience, and there's access to information and education when I feel like it, when I want it, when I need it, not when it's convenient for the healthcare system or the doctor or the clinic to be open for me. And humans matter, but technologies are replacing human value. That is a fact. Humans matter, but technology is replacing a lot of the human value in the healthcare system today. It has to happen. There's too much cost and not enough disruption yet, and what's going to happen is technology is going to come in and take out as much of that human cost as we can. The greatest problem of healthcare today isn't about the quality of care. It's about access to quality care. And artificial intelligence today has the ability to bring the best standards of care to everybody with a mobile phone. And without these new technologies, we're not talking about a healthcare problem here. We're talking about a social justice problem. It's upon all of us to bring the best care at the lowest possible cost to the most people and give access to that care to everybody that we can as a matter of social justice to do better for people on the planet. So with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about diabetes, and I'm going to talk about OneDrop. Now, everybody knows diabetes is a massive problem. There's 30 million Americans with diabetes. There's 60 million Europeans with diabetes. There's about 500 million people worldwide with diabetes, and another 500 million people undiagnosed diabetes. You're talking about almost a billion people worldwide. There's a problem there. The diabetes landscape here in the US and worldwide, you've got about 1 million in the US with type 1s on pumps and CGMs like the Medtronic solutions that we just heard about. You've got about 2 million on CGMs doing manual injections. You've got about 8 million type 2s doing manual injections. And then you've got about 20 million people with diabetes in the US on oral medications. You've got 500 million people worldwide with diabetes. Unbelievable. And yet the smallest portion of that group, the 1 million, the far left, they get the most technology. They've got all the technology solutions, they've got the pumps, the CGMs, they've got all the expensive technology, and the 20 million on orals, not getting much at all. So what can we do to bring access and technology and tools and education and information to everybody with diabetes to stem the cost of this crisis? Today, we spend about $10,000 per patient managing diabetes in the system, and that's just a round average. It's pharma-driven. There's no technology integration. There's no view of day-to-day activity. There's no view of time spent on lifestyle or decision support. But I spend 8,759 hours a year with my diabetes each and every day while I'm not at the doctor's office. So we're spending $10,000 a year for that hour a year at the doctor's office and nothing to support me the 8,759 hours a year that I'm not there. Why? The best diabetes care is not going to come from better doctors or better drugs. The fix-me mentality is a lose-lose. It's expensive for the system, and it doesn't really deliver any better outcomes. We've seen 40 new treatment pathways introduced to the diabetes landscape over the last 10 years, and guess what the improvement in A1C levels are for that same time period for people with diabetes? Take a guess. 0. There's been 0 improvement in the lives of people with diabetes, and yet 40 new treatment pathways and $1 trillion in revenue, profits, shareholder dividends, and buybacks. 0 improvement. The my doc, fix me mentality is not going to work for chronic care today. The ADOC, a technology layer over the current mode of care, works well for the system because it takes costs out, but it doesn't really work well for the user. It doesn't deliver any better outcomes. We think we need to move to a new way, no doc, or at least artificial intelligence supported that 8,759 hours a year that I'm not at the doctor's office, and empower the healthcare system when I am there. So what's our mission? It's a small one. Transform the lives of every single person on the planet with diabetes and a smartphone. Every single person on the planet. We're consumer-focused, we're data-driven, we're user-centric, we're integrated and open, we're scalable globally today, we're effective, accessible, affordable diabetes consumer care with the amplification and extension of existing care. We're bringing together connected sensors, mobile computing, and big data. It's relatively simple, but it's not like anything that we're seeing in the marketplace today. Connected sensors, mobile computing, and big data. So we bring together a whole bunch of things. You see our gorgeous wireless blood glucose monitor on the right there. You see our Lancet device, the Chrome device there. It was inspired by a Marc Jacobs lipstick. You see the smart ecosystem that we bring to the table, whether it's Apple Watch, Alexa, Fitbit, Strava, Lose It, Runtastic, all of the thousands of apps and devices, cardio blood pressure cuffs, Withings scales, any connected health device. We collect all that data and bring it into OneDrop and make it accessible for you as a person with diabetes, with hypertension, hyperlipids, weight loss, and obesity. And then we bring OneDrop Experts Coaching, which you see on the left there. A certified diabetes expert coach, 24/7/365, available in the app whenever you want them, whenever you need them, a real person. A real person anytime you need them to coach you with your diabetes choices. And then we've developed now OneDrop automated decision support, where you're getting real-time insights, diabetes glucose predictions, and goal tracking in the app immediately when you need it. We're able to forecast blood glucose values up to 24 hours in advance with only one glucose reading right when you launch the app. So let's dig in a little bit. Let's talk about our data science. You've heard a little bit from the team at Medtronic and IBM Watson, and they're doing a great job, and I'm really appreciative of the work that they do. We're driving our AI-delivered automated decision support with 1.3 billion longitudinal diabetes health data today from over 50 million blood glucose readings and over 1 million users worldwide in 195 countries. We're using techniques like metabolic system modeling, time series filtering, ensemble forecasting, machine learning, and deep learning, and all of the power of science today in big data analytics to deliver actionable insights to each of our users each and every day in real time. I want to answer 3 questions. Why does my blood glucose keep going low? Or, I just ate and exercised, how will it affect my blood glucose? Or, as a healthcare provider in the population that I manage, what are the behavior patterns that put people at risk? Or, what are behavior patterns that are unique to high-cost individuals? Or, what therapeutic pathways are best suited to the situation at hand? Our analytics are extremely accurate, which is difficult to come by without large volumes of data. The user logs a blood glucose, which generates a forecast instantly. The user then logs a meal or some other element, and the forecast is immediately updated. We can know how accurate we are. 9 hours later, the blood glucose value is within 7% of the forecast. And so for type 2s not on insulin, with one glucose value, the day you launch the app, we're 91% accurate within 50 milligrams per deciliter. We're 75% accurate within 27 milligrams per deciliter. We're 50% accurate within 14 milligrams per deciliter and 25% accurate within 6 milligrams per deciliter. That is extremely accurate for a person with type 2 diabetes not on insulin from one reading. You launch the app, you give us one reading, and we're immediately generating 24-hour blood glucose forecasts for you. OneDrop automated decision support is glucose predictions for type 2 on insulin, as you can see, and you can see it shows up gorgeous in our gorgeous app. It shows up on the Apple Watch. It shows up with actionable insights each and every day. And we just did a study on all of our insights, by the way. It turns out right around 90% of our users find all of our insights useful. So we're always tracking what the users think inside the app, and there's a button that says useful, not useful. 90% of users users find 90% of our insights useful for them in managing their diabetes each and every day. Glucose forecasts are up to the minute and always available in the app. Predictions require no further action than just using the app like they always do. Predictions adapt immediately when new information appears. So if you walk, or if you log a meal, or if you check your blood glucose again, or you take your medication, or you don't take your medication, your blood glucose forecasts are updated in real time. Adding predictive capability for people on insulin is done on our side, but we're waiting to find the regulatory pathway to allow for us to deliver predictive insights for people on insulin right now. Empowering all people with diabetes. The 500 million people worldwide, the 20 million in the US that are just on orals, the 8 million on MDI, the 2 million on CGM, and the million on pumps and CGMs is our goal. We want to empower everybody with diabetes to be able to make better decisions each and every day, and we're doing so with OneDrop automated decision support. We'll layer upon that OneDrop virtual care, which I talked about, the experts, 24/7/365 in the app. We are the only American Diabetes Association recognized diabetes self-management education program in market today. It's a personal health coach in your pocket, 24/7/365, with no appointments, no prescriptions, no copay. It's just there for you all the time. We have advanced carb counting, diabetes burnout, diabetes self-management education programs, diabetes prevention and weight loss, and gestational diabetes for people that are pregnant. Experts are there in real time, so you text your expert and you'll get a message back within minutes. They're available 24/7. We have one-on-one dedicated support and gorgeous custom content, whether it's recipes, whether it's goal setting and skills building. Each component of the OneDrop system is designed to make it attractive for people. Why? If you like something, you'll use it. Is the healthcare system you know today gorgeous? Is the healthcare system you know today, the tools, diagnostics, any of the things that you interact with today, gorgeous so that people like it? No, it's not. Make your products amazing, and people will use them. Make the system amazing, and people will use it. User-centric design and innovation, it's core to everything we do at OneDrop. So our OneDrop mobile app makes it simple and automatic to log almost everything you do with diabetes. Blood glucose values appear automatically. Food carb counted automatically. Activity tracked automatically. Medication entered automatically with reminders, push notifications to your phone. You just click, yes, I took my meds. Gorgeous graphs and data visualizations in many different forms to make data accessible and actionable for people with diabetes. You can see here the OneDrop map, or the OneDrop community function, or the OneDrop news feed. We publish news, education, information, recipes, tech reviews, celebrity profiles into the OneDrop news feed in the app each and every day, so that you don't feel so alone with your diabetes. It's terribly lonely. You can go onto the map anywhere in the world, and I can pull it up now if I had it in front of me. We can go to any city in the world and find OneDrop users managing their diabetes. Right now, we can look at their blood glucose values. We can give them a little fist bump emoji. We can give them a little heart emoji. We can give them a little bit of love, because diabetes is so lonely, you never get any real support from anybody. So again, gorgeous graphs, gorgeous insights each and every day in the app. This is the OneDrop Chrome blood glucose meter. By the way, it is now available as of today in Action Orange, Accent Rings, Black, and White. And we also launched a whole new line of cool cases to carry the OneDrop Chrome meter. You can see here, it's gorgeous. It's made out of vegan leather. Why? If people love it, they'll use it. Everything's available on the Apple Watch as well as a Fitbit Ionic and Fitbit Versa. And so all of your diabetes information is accessible to you, not only or accessible to you on your wrist, but you can manage your entire diabetes experience from your wrist. You can do all of your blood glucose values. You can do everything you want straight from your wrist, which makes for the diabetes experience something that's a little more engaging than the way the current tools and technology are provided out there. So here's just some different views of data visualizations on the Apple Watch. Gorgeous. So all of this really doesn't matter what I say. I like to talk about diabetes. I like to talk about OneDrop. But what matters is when we can deliver clinical efficacy that's superior to anything in the market at a lower unit cost and faster than all of the treatment pathways. And so now we have, I guess now, over 15 clinical studies in the market showing, percentage in drop in A1C, 1.2% drop, 1.5%, 1.9% drop in A1C. We're showing clinical efficacy for not only each of our OneDrop users, but for all of our health partners in health systems, clinics, and insurance companies that have contracted with OneDrop to bring our solution to their members. And clinically efficacious, peer-reviewed, published, or presented. And we have 5 new RCTs that are underway right now that we'll be publishing more of in the coming months. So I'm super excited about the kind of clinical efficacy that we get. And OneDrop is loved by our users. They post on Instagram, they post on Facebook, they post on Twitter. You can see that people like the product. And who here has seen anybody tweet about their blood glucose monitor before? If people love it, they're proud of it, they're engaged with it, and they'll take advantage of that and move their situation forward. New A1C, 5.9, down from 8.3. I have thousands of these testimonials. Each and every day, we get hundreds of people writing in, telling us about the superior clinical efficacy that they're seeing in the marketplace with themselves, managing their diabetes better, and the coaches that are helping them engage in a better way. You're the best. Thank you. Just as some specs, we're available in 195 countries worldwide with all of our digital platforms. We're in 10 languages. We're FDA approved, CE certified, HIPAA compliant. We are available with the hardware and test strip products in 30 countries worldwide. We're available on the OneDrop.today website. We're available on Amazon, Walmart, Jet.com, Apple.com. And we're really excited to see where the transformation in the diabetes industry is going with big data and automated decision support. And we're excited how we're going to move that same sort of methodology and approach more broadly into the healthcare space. With that, I wish you a wonderful day, and I want to say thank you.